Welcome everyone to Screams After Midnight. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Tim.
Happy New Year.
That's not exactly horror New Year, perhaps, because we are today ending our 2025. Weirdly, funny how that happens. But yeah, basically every year we spend time in the start of the new year watching more of the films from the previous year that we couldn't get to yet, so that when we get to our top 10 of the year, we have sampled as much as possible. We're eclectic in our horror viewing, and we're well knowledgeable on the subject, hopefully.
Yes.
So we're going to make our top 10 of the year. That's what's happening. This is top 10 horror movies of 2025. We're going to debate, we'll nominate, we'll argue the order, and we'll come to a top 10 result by the end of the episode. Which, there was a lot of horror movies out last year, so there's plenty to consider, plenty to discuss. Yeah,
and I feel like we even did a pretty good job of keeping up with stuff. But I mean, despite I feel like we're going to the movie theater maybe a bit more than we normally do. Just because we're able to coordinate stuff a little bit better. But I mean, even with doing good on that end, there's still so many to catch up on that even in the new year. And then there's still stuff that we haven't seen that admittedly stuff that we're pretty confident wouldn't be making the cut. But
yeah, we could easily just do 2025 movies for another 2 years probably. It'd be mostly crap though, to be clear. We'd be mostly scraping the bottom of the Tubi barrel and whatever else came out. But we're gonna get into it. We'll start suggesting movies, and we'll come up with a big list that we want to select from and start organizing and cutting things from there. So yes, and just to be extra fancy, I'm actually going to have it on the screen for people to see as it's been typed out and move it around. Ooh. So yeah, even you get to see it, Tim, this time.
Ooh la la, yeah. So so elegant.
It's literally a Word doc. It's not that fancy, but good for the thought process. Now the audio listeners won't see it, obviously, so we'll still talk the same way we always do, but just good for more than anything else. I just want Timmy to be able to see it, so he's not asking me every 2 minutes what we have. Sure. Tim, would you like to nominate a film from 2025?
Well, I mean, it's always easy to get the big guys out of the way, which I think there's two pretty obvious movies that we can just throw right off the bat, seeing as how, I mean, one, they're both movies that we quite enjoy, but also as ones that people are talking about all throughout the year, and obviously both had Oscar buzz and nominations and everything. So obviously talking about Sinners, and then of course Strangers Chapter 2.
I was so ready to jump in and make a joke about how you were talking about Heart Eyes or something, so yes, very good.
I knew one of us had to make it, so we'll also get that joke out of the way right away. But I mean, obviously Sinners and Weapons were the two kind of huge phenoms of last year that even that kind of broke through the non-horror crowd. People are talking about it. There's lots of attention on both of them at the Oscars, and deservedly so. I mean, I think we both, quite cared for those movies. I guess my first question to you would be, I mean, obviously I know you enjoyed them quite as well, but have you gotten a chance to rewatch them, or
no.
Just going off that?
Yeah, I've not rewatched anything we're going to talk about today, I don't think.
Okay, just curious, yeah. I rewatched half of Sinners just because my wife hadn't seen it, and then I kind of walked in on her watching it, and I was like, ooh, Sinners. But I mean, both movies I like, and I would like to rewatch at some point. But yeah, it is hard with the amount of things that are out, and you're always kind of trying to catch up. It's oh yeah, I would like to watch a good movie, but here's this crappy movie I haven't seen yet. I don't know, but I'm assuming there's no, you're not gonna fight having these on the list.
On the list? No, I don't think I'll be putting up much of a fight for that, Tim. No. And while I haven't rewatched either of them yet, I have bought both of them. So I mean, take that for what you will. So
me too.
There is that. Yeah, I mean, those are some of the more obvious names to throw out, but there was a lot of stuff out 2025.
I mean, I think I said this a lot last year. Sorry, but just I mean, I do feel like last year was kind of an embarrassment of riches. I mean, going back and looking over it, like I was like, okay, maybe there wasn't as many like heavy hitters as I thought, but there were like a lot of really good movies. And I mean, I get so bad with time now. Like I feel like 2024 wasn't that bad, but then there was one year that was like awful. Was that like 2023 or
2023 was pretty rough. 2024 was pretty plentiful. Although you didn't believe it for like half the year, where you kept saying, "Oh, there's not that much out this year," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? There's like a dozen movies that are big that we've not even gotten to yet." 2024 was pretty plentiful. Now we could maybe compare to 2024 at the end of this and see if we feel that the year's an improvement. But I think 2023 is the year from the past few that was very lacking. Because 2022 was pretty good. And then 2024 was good, and 2025 I think we'll find here is also pretty good. 2023 was just notably lacking, which is funny because I think 2023 was a very good year for movies in general, just not horror specifically. So that's what it is. Anyway, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. One I want to get out the way early, just because I don't want to forget it, because it's one that's not showing up on my filter here for our score sheet, is because it's technically a 2024 movie. However, it's one that wasn't really available to everyone until 2025, so it is eligible for this list, and that is Presence. I want to just throw the name out there because it's not showing up in front of me, and I just wanted to say it before I forget that it exists. So I'm just going to throw in Presence to the short list.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, because I was doing like a quick Google search, and I didn't see that showing up there either.
Yeah, so that is eligible for this. As far as like other things I wanted to shout out, I think a very big surprise for 2025 that I was very kind of instantly in love with was Ugly Stepsister. So I'm going to add Ugly Stepsister to the short list here.
Yeah, I figured that one would definitely be a easy contender here.
Well, she got.
All right, so this one will probably be. Honestly, I feel like this will probably be the only one that we might fight a bit on, which of course is 28 Years Later, which I know I really like, but you're not as hot on. So I think it's at least worth having it in as part of the discussion. I don't know. I imagine if it can make the list, it'll probably be towards the bottom because you weren't as hot on it, but I think it's at least notable and worthy to talk about.
It does have to come up. I'm definitely not as enthusiastic about it though, so we'll see where that debate takes us once we have all the contenders on the field. I think another relatively obvious one to bring up here would be Bring Her Back. That got a lot of buzz. Okay. It was very intense. So throw that on there.
It's definitely one to discuss. I wouldn't say that's necessarily my 28 Years Later. Like, I have my issues with that. I don't think it's bad by any stretch, but it wasn't one that I loved as much. But I mean, definitely better than a lot of stuff. So it's worth being on there.
Yeah, it was better than 28 Years Later, for example.
I disagree with that. But to each their own.
Oh, you set me up for it, all right? Oh. You drew the comparison lines, so you're going to hear it. So, what else you got, Timmy?
I mean, in terms of like our recording sessions, we were just talking about influences not too long ago, but I think that's also one that we can easily talk about. Again, that's another one that kind of wasn't really expecting, like the first one when I saw it, and then kind of just threw it on, was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I need to let a cat out, so you can nominate something else and tell me what it was when I get back.
Ooh, okay, what do we got? What do we got? I'm gonna maybe cheat a little bit and then look at oh yeah, I think this is another easy one, which, like, in terms of quality, I don't think it's like maybe as well made as some of the other ones, but in terms of like fun factor, I mean, Final Destination was a really fun movie from last year. I think that's one that deserves to be talked about.
Absolutely. I was just waiting until you said again what you were talking about, because I wasn't sure.
Right,
no, I agree that's in the conversation. I think another fun one that was kind of a pleasant surprise was Silent Night, Deadly Night, the reboot.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I don't think that one was really showing up on some of my quick searches that I was doing, but absolutely, that was a fun one. And then actually another one that I would say is probably one of my favorites of the year would be The Long Walk.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes, it's like on that like periphery of like almost not quite being horror movie, but it's very good though.
Yeah, I mean that was going to be my only thing. Like if if technically if we want to be like, well, I don't know, it's more of a dystopian future, blah 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 kind of genre-y thing, like if we're looking at that, like fine, but I mean it's whatever, close enough. I mean we did it on the show anyway, so
that's true, but there is a precedent for us getting to the top 10 and saying, you know what, that was really good, but it doesn't belong on a horror list.
Sure.
Can you remember what I'm talking about, Tim? Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
I Saw the TV Glow.
No, that was on our list.
Okay. I know we talked about it, but it's slipping my mind.
It was on the 2022 edition of the top 10 horror movies of the year.
Did Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness come out that year?
Trust me, that was not eligible for quality before any genre implications came into the mix.
Yeah, probably just have to tell me.
Well, that example was The Menu. That was one where we said this is very good, arguably better than most of the movies on the top 10, but it just didn't feel right to be on the top 10 horror movies of the year. I think The Long Walk's not a far cry. It's definitely more intense than The Menu is. But if I was going to put it into a category, I'd probably say it's like a dystopian like thriller than a horror movie.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because usually you'd think like, dystopian, like I don't even know if I would say like future, because it doesn't feel like futuristic, but like
retro future usually, maybe.
Yeah, but I kind of would usually associate that kind of genre with like sci-fi, but there's nothing really science fiction-y about it, like
only in the broad sense that it's kind of in an alternate version of our world. So if you count that as sci-fi, then it kind of is, but it's there's no flying like cars or laser beams or
like exactly.
Anything of that kind. That's it. It's on the shortlist. We can have the debate later as to whether or not it absolutely should be there or not. But it's definitely there. Elsewhere, looking at what else we have watched over the year, stuff that was maybe in contention to sneak on there. Dangerous Animals, not a bad time.
That's
pleasant.
A fun one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll throw that on there. Jai Courtney getting a chance to shine.
Absolutely.
Weirdly.
Yeah.
Is there any other ones that you want to like put forth?
Nothing I can really think of.
I mean, I've got one that like I think could be on the bottom end, maybe, and that is not that the word glowing, but I think there was a lot of good qualities to it, and that is The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I forgot that was 2025.
Well, I think it's another one that I think it's listed as 2024, but wasn't like available. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let me double check the eligibility of that one, but I've got it noted down as 2025.
I mean, that would make sense if it was more like if it had like a festival debut like in 2024, and then I'm didn't actually
fact checking this at the moment, right? I'm seeing film festivals. Yeah, it didn't come out anywhere like publicly till 2025, so yeah, that one is eligible.
Okay. Yeah, I Yeah, I enjoy that one. I wouldn't say I'm like wowed by it, but I mean, yeah, it's eligible for discussion. Yeah, I don't know. People might expect me to nominate Frankenstein, but I know like you really didn't like it, and then yeah, I do enjoy that movie, but yeah, it's definitely not my favorite. Del Toro.
Yeah,
there,
but
so.
even you weren't that positive though. It's like you liked it more than I did, but you weren't.
Yeah.
You didn't exactly come at me swinging with fire and being like, "Hey, how dare you speak of my boy this way?"
Yeah, there's definitely flaws in it, which I can recognize. I still enjoy it, but yeah, if it was a worse year, like maybe I'd be like, well, we should have it up there. But I think there's enough that it doesn't really need to be there.
Yeah, so we're going to do like a worst 5 as a Patreon thing. So I'm trying not to mention like the truly terrible stuff.
Right.
I think the ones that are kind of on the periphery of like they weren't super enthusiastic, but at the same time, I don't think they're bad enough to be on the bad list either. That I want to mention is that Osgood Perkins put out 2 movies in 2025. He put out The Monkey and he put out Keeper. And both had very positive qualities in parts, but maybe didn't actually come together all that well in the end. But I wanted to give it a shout out.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally fair. I do know. I think overall, most people like thought The Monkey was like fine or okay. Like I enjoyed it. I have fun with it. Like I definitely don't think it's amazing, but I know there's like a group of people that like seem to really hate it. Like I have some friends that like just really despised it, and then like I was listening to a podcast where some people just talking about how much like they hated it, and it's kind of interesting because I'm like, well, I could get someone not liking it, but it doesn't seem to me like it's bad enough that it would inspire like that level of like, oh, I hate this. You know what I mean? So I kind of thought that was surprising, but
yeah, that's fair. No, I mean Keeper, like, I love the direction in Keeper. It's just the story completely, like, falls flat for me as it goes on.
Yeah, it's a shame, because there's, like, a couple of things sprinkled throughout that I really like, but then, yeah, there's also some stuff that just, like, just really bored me, and, yeah, just wasn't speaking on to what I wanted, I guess. But, yeah, did you see the news they're making was it Long Legs 2? I don't know if it was I don't think it was like a prequel, but
I saw the news. Yeah. I didn't really read into it too much, but I did see the headline that the Cage is maybe back for it as well. Mm-hmm. So who knows what they're doing with that? But yeah. Well, we'll see. There's a few kind of, again, that are just kind of like not quite good enough, I think, that maybe some people might expect us to mention. Like, we weren't super hot on Together, right? There were some fun parts, but for the most part, we were like kind of lukewarm. Similar.
I would probably give that an award for maybe like one of the best trailers of the year. Like, I thought the trailer was great. I was super hyped for it, and then, not the worst thing in the world, like you said, but a pretty big letdown, I think.
Yeah, similar. I would say Good Boy kind of falls into that, where it's kind of impressive for what it is in some ways, but we didn't like it that much as a finished movie in the end.
Yeah, I was looking at that on my list here, and an amazing gimmick, but at the end of the day, you kind of need more, after that. Like the dog is great in that movie. Like, it similarly, if I'm gonna give an award to the movie, maybe I'll give for like best actor for the dog. But unfortunately, like it didn't really rise above just the kind of novelty of it.
Yeah. I also point out that I actually had a bit of fun with Megan 2 for what it was. Admittedly, though, it's also basically not a horror movie. And also probably at a level where it wouldn't be beating a lot of things either. So I just wanted to mention it. I'm not going to add it to the short list, but it's there.
Did we end up doing it on the show? Or?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did it on the show. Okay. Your memory is awful, Tim.
Got a lot going on.
Apparently. The only other thing maybe I'll throw out there, because we were kind of surprised by it. I don't know if it's surprising enough to be like eligible for the top 10 per se, but for a bonus episode, we did Bone Lake, and that movie got a lot better in the third act than I think we would have assumed it was going to, based on
that's true,
what it was.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of the opposite of something like Together, where I watched the trailer and I was like, nope, this is gonna suck. And then actually watching it, like, yeah, again, I'm not like, oh, this is number one of the year or anything, but it was surprisingly like fun. Like, there's some good stuff there.
Yeah, but I think that's all the ones I wanted to like throw out, even just to sort of mention them before we get to the end. So
yeah, I'm not really seeing much else here.
I guess I joked earlier about Heart Eyes. I assume that there is probably there is something of a fan base for Heart Eyes. We did not like it. Let's just leave it there. Not the worst thing all year by any means, but we did not like it.
Yeah, no thanks. It's another one where I think it's getting a sequel, which who knows, maybe it'll be better. But
yeah, I think they already had the sequel announced before we even reviewed it, because we got to that one kind of late. We waited almost a full year to do that because we couldn't do it at the time.
Right. Yeah.
Because that was during the fires in California. So we had like a 3-month break or whatever it was.
And then it didn't really make sense not to do it around Valentine's Day, so we waited.
Yeah. Well, I think we would have done it if the deadline was different, but because we knew that we'd be doing 2025 movies until now to look for the top 10, we might as well just wait for the next Valentine's Day, since it falls into that window anyway. So, okay, that's probably the short list then. That's probably all the movies we're considering for this.
All right, how many we got there?
Well, I can just sort of convert it to numbers and find out. I didn't want to number them though, because I don't want anyone to think they're in order yet, because they're not.
Right.
But there's 12 there right now.
Okay.
Indeed. Now,
do you want to start debating order, or should we chisel it down to the 10 first?
I feel like chiseling's good when you've got a lot. I feel like because we're only 2 over the amount, though, it's probably better to start debating order, because that will naturally cut out 2 once we get to like the debates there. And I will say, I think there's obviously some contenders here that everyone expects to be in the top few. I think they will likely be in the top few by and large. But if I can be bold and make a case for something here.
Okay.
I think Ugly Stepsister should be number 1.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying no, but is there a specific justification, or?
It was the most surprising movie of the year. Visually, it was quite catching immediately. The music was really good, and it drew me in a way where like I didn't expect for it to hit. And it hits hard quick. Like within like 2 minutes of that movie, I was like so engrossed and into it. And I feel like, well, obviously other movies this year, like, you know, Sinners and Weapons, were these obvious big contenders even beforehand, before they came out, because of the directors and what they've done in the past and all that. And they were very good, and I praise both of them. Like, and especially with Sinners, with Weapons, because Weapons like does have such a weird mystery plot where like what's going on and what's happening, and that's kind of part of the fun of that. But this was still more surprising, just because but in a more traditional way, where I was just so engrossed with the quality of it and kind of the dark twist on an old story and how it kind of reshaped things. And, you know, by the end of it, the horror of it was very deeply satirical, and I felt like the movie had something really, really strong to say. So, I don't know, I think it hit me in a way that, and in the same way that, you know, like a couple of years ago, we went with Exuma as number 1, and that was like, it just felt right. And I don't know, just get into this and I'm looking at all the options, it feels like a more interesting pick to me than the other ones.
Yeah, again, the movie was very surprising to me as well. Like, I wasn't as instantly on board. Again, people can go, you know, listen to the review, but the funny thing about that movie is it really won me over, because I, like, you know, when I was first watching it, I was kind of expecting something else, something that was going to be more like just 2 hours of like oppressive bleakness and abuse and stuff, and it's actually not. It ends up being quite funny and like you said, like, you know, satirical and stuff. So I by the end of it, I was pretty surprised and like going, wow, this is actually a lot better than I was thinking and anticipating. So I do agree that's a bold choice, but I mean I'm not against it. And then as much as I like Sinners and Weapons, like I think those are terrific movies, but yeah, we've had a whole year of people talking about them, like, very deservedly so. But it is nice to kind of shine a spotlight on maybe something that isn't as big or as talked about with people.
Yeah, and I think as well, because I look at those other movies, and I think for me it would be Ugly Stepsister, then Weapons, then Sinners, and the reason for that is Sinners is great, and the character work is so good, and some of the cinematography, and especially that oneer in the middle with the music scene, without getting too spoilery, is phenomenal. I do think the actual like third act with like the vampires like coming in for the attack, it feels very quick and kind of underwhelming compared to everything else in the movie. But I like the way it ends, like the final ending, like the final character ending that it ends on. I think is fantastic as well. So it kind of almost won me back again, even after the little disappointment of the actual vampire action being kind of underwhelming. But it does have that little asterisk of like, oh, that's one part of it. Arguably the most horror part of it is the one thing that I think is a little bit weaker than the rest of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that would probably be the order I'd go with too. I think, I don't know, in some aspects, I think Sinners is maybe better made than Weapons, but I think at the end of the day, Weapons is just a bit more fun for me. Which, I mean, it's hard because I think they're both phenomenal and that they have great things about them, but they're really like neck and neck for me. I think what it boils down to, like, if I had a choice where I was just like, I need to sit down right now and watch one of these movies, like at this moment I'd probably be like, all right, well, let me throw in Weapons again, so I don't know, that's the kind of the test I have for probably putting it above. But I think they're both amazing, and obviously people have been talking about them all year, and very deserving of all the praise and stuff. But yeah, I think I'd go with that order as well.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying about the technical qualities of Sinners might be a little higher. It's a little bit more cinematic and like visually kind of pronounced. But I do like how Weapons kind of plays with the narrative structure and the whole stepping out of the shadows of the doorway, and like I think it's like a better like. I mean, I don't really find movies scary, but I think the horror elements of Weapons are a lot more in the creepy, fun, like, oh, someone's sneaking around with a pair of scissors. Oh God, what are they doing? Like, there's a lot more of that in Weapons that I think just appeals to me just a little bit more. I mean, you're not fighting me too much, so I'm just going to sort of roughly put these in place right now, and we'll see how that looks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I figured the top would probably be pretty easy. Like probably once we started getting to the like last couple of ones, that's where there'll be more like.
Well, so what's so weird though is that if we were including The Long Walk, because we've not really had that discussion yet.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument for The Long Walk maybe even inching up above maybe Sinners. Maybe.
Okay. If there's anything that could potentially get a bit higher on the list, it would probably be Long Walk,
Yeah, and it does have a little asterisk in Long Walk. Aside from the debate of is it suitable for a horror list, is the very, very final like 2 minutes, right? I don't know if I necessarily love how it ends, but everything up until that point is a character piece, is these bonding people who are trying to survive this, and it's got that simple thing that I love about a gimmick. Or a high concept movie, which is that they're doing something that's dangerous, the rules are simple, and it's very easy to like see the stress that's causing them up and down, like the physical pitfalls, the emotional pitfalls, and how it's getting tougher as time goes on. Like, it's a very easy to understand predicament they're in, and that stuff is really riveting as a result.
Yeah, I mean, it's fully explored. Like, I mean, we talk about so many movies that are like, man, this is a great premise, and they just do not live up to it. They're not like doing anything interesting with it or whatever. And like, this is a great example of like, oh yeah, great, terrific, easy premise, and then it just really, digs in, and it's just like, great like character study, and they really do a good job of showing like what the stress and like what this can do to like your body and your mind, and it's really good.
And full of social commentary as well, which is the big thing about it, is that it's just rich in that. So I mean, I could see an argument for that inching up above maybe Sinners, but that is also assuming we're including The Long Walk on this list, and I'm not against it necessarily, but I do think it is worth the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I can kind of see it either way. I guess at the end of the day, my thought is like I would probably include it, just because like I think you can make enough of a case for it that it would count for me. But I mean, I can see it being a little bit on the line. So I don't know if you feel passionate about disqualifying it just for maybe not being like purely horror. I mean, I wouldn't fight you, but
it's adjacent. It feels like, people who like horror movies are probably going to like it, kind of thing. So I think we should keep it. Now the question is where do you think it should go then, based on everything we just said?
I mean, it's another one of my favorites of the year, so I probably wouldn't put it above Weapons. It's just if it's gonna be, it's gonna be either above or below Sinners. And again, it's another one that's really hard because there's so much that I like about it. Again, if I'm going to with the test of like, if I had to sit down right now and rewatch one, I'd probably go with The Long Walk.
Okay.
So I mean, I wouldn't mind having it at number 3, but I don't know if you feel more passionate one way or another.
I think I'd inch Long Walk above Sinners. I like Sinners a lot, but I think as good as the characters in Sinners are, and they're great, I think the friendship that forms and is tested throughout The Long Walk is so good that I think that's stuck with me a bit more over the course of everything.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So I think that's where I'm coming from. So yeah, I'm happy with it there. I think after those 4, because I feel like those are the big 4 in terms of like the highest quality. Those are the 4 at the top there that I kind of assumed would all be up at the top. Yeah. Everything else I'm pretty sure is below Sinners. It's just a case of like, where do things go now? I don't know what we'd do about 28 Years Later, because I feel like I would I would put most of these things above 28 Years Later. I would expect.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're going to get rid of something, I think Rule of Jenny Penn would be an easy one to go, honestly. Because I mean, I like it, but I think that would easily be the bottom of these. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, I probably would agree. The problem is that my other one that I would take away is 28 Years Later. But I mean, if we agree to Rule of Jenny Penn, like, that can be the one easier cut of the bunch.
Yeah, I mean, personally, what I would probably say is, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like I was very positive on 28 Years Later, so I feel like I would probably put it like, well, I mean, on my personal list, I would have it higher, but I feel like that would probably eke out like the number 10 spot, and then I'd probably get rid of Dangerous Animals, because I liked it and I thought it was fun, but at the end of the day, I thought it was just like, oh, this is like it's like good, but it didn't like wow me. But
I mean, if I was to cut one, ignoring 28 Years Later, if I had to cut one next, it would probably be Dangerous Animals.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I mean, that would be my case. Is I know you're not hot on 28 Years Later, but I think I like it enough for it to rise a bit above on the list, but I'm okay with having it at the bottom since I know you're not. Like, if you absolutely hated it and you gave it like a 2, then I'd be like, okay, I don't. It might be hard to compromise, but
I give it like a 6. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be my compromise. Like,
all right. All right. Well, I mean, hell, you've got a better fight for this than you do Frankenstein, which I think is much worse. So.
Right. Yeah. I thought it was easier to have that than, make a case for Frankenstein, which again I liked. I'm not, not trying to put it down or anything, but I knew, that would be one that I feel like, it would be hard to get you to budge.
Yeah.
Now with these, I would probably say, let's see.
I'm locking them in. I've locked in the top 4 and number 10. I've locked in visually for the people watching the video version. Okay, yeah, that's just tough because we're getting into some interesting like comparison points here of like the more silly fun ones, which I would say is Final Destination and Silent Night, Deadly Night. The kind of more arty, like kind of not highbrow, but like I think Presence and Bring Her Back might appeal to a similar enough crowd in a sense. And then Influencers is kind of its own weird beast in the middle somewhere where I don't even know what to compare that to. So. Tough to say. I will say if I'm thinking about, or if I'm using our ratings to try and help us here, not that we have to follow the ratings exactly, because sometimes you don't actually go by what you objectively think's a higher, rated movie. Sometimes you go with your heart a little bit more, even if it's a bit lower. But if I'm going with like what we rated certain things this year, Presence. I can't see Presence because it's not 2025 on the sheet. Never mind. Bring Her Back, to use that one, was rated fairly well by me. I gave it an 8.5 and you give it a 7. So that's definitely inching higher up for me. I think Presence I rated just a little bit lower than that. And then I think you were very similar with me on Presence. Influencers, I gave a 7.5, you gave an 8. Final Destination Bloodlines, which is all the way back here, I gave a 7 and you gave a 6.5. But I think those were very enthusiastic 7s and 6.5s, to be clear.
Yeah, like Final Destination Bloodlines, it's like in a way it's stupid, but in a fun way. Like it would have been great because I like a big problem I had with it was some of the story stuff and like kind of the two main. Or like the main character we were following, I wasn't like a big fan of, so that kind of hurt it a lot for me. But in terms of like the deaths and the kills, like those were a ton of fun, and in a way that's kind of why you watch those movies. So it's understandable, that maybe you give those like a little bit more credit or whatever. But so I don't know. It's interesting though, like how you compare it to some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I've reordered those 5 around based on just kind of what our average ratings were on the show, right? So this is just the order of them based on what we rated them between us, and that's put them into the order of Bring Her Back, Presence, Influencers, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, I would if let's take that as a baseline, I would probably say that I do think Bring Her Back probably belongs at the top of those 5. I think what I might push for though is Silent Night, Deadly Night going up a bit, because I think that while we both gave it a 7.5, I think that was a really fun, wacky little movie, and I kind of want to reward it a little bit for it. So I don't know how you feel about
that. No, that I agree with that. Again, that one was kind of that one was a big surprise. I really was not expecting like anything from it, and then, just the fact that I was like, oh, like they're doing something interesting. It's not just like a cheap remake, and they actually had like a fun new dynamic for it, and that is one that I will be like glad to rewatch again. I also bought that one. It's just I got the Steelbook or whenever it came out, but it's kind of weird watching it in like February or whatever. So
sure,
I'll look forward to rewatching that this December again. So I mean I don't mind bumping that one up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have that one yet. It's on my wish list. I'm just waiting for it to go on sale. It's still kind of full price. Same with the Long Walk, because I only don't have that yet because it's still sitting at like £15 versus like 5, what I would, jump at it for.
I mean, that's what I do when I get like digital stuff. But for the ones that I buy like physically, especially if you're getting like a steelbook or something, you gotta kind of jump on it like quick, because you never know like what stuff is gonna sell out or whatever.
Yeah. The fear of out of print is real. I know.
Yeah, so annoying. And then you just have to wait like so much longer too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, because I think Presence is a really cool little like experimental movie of like, let's try and do something different, and it worked, I think, a lot better than I thought it was going to work. So I have to give it some credit for that. But I think my heart says I want to put Silent Night, Deadly Night above Presence. But you
sure.
You weigh in. How do you feel?
No, I mean, I was thinking something kind of similar. Like, I enjoyed Presence. Again, it's another gimmicky film, but it's one that, they did a good job of, kind of fleshing that out. And I remember when I first watched it thinking, this is either going to be really cool or the most boring shit in the world. And I watched it before we did it on the show, so I was kind of like, hovering over that, like, it's not a long movie, but I was like, if I watch like 10 minutes of this and I just think it's incredibly boring, I'm just going to shut it off. But I was surprised how much it sucked me in. So yeah, I enjoy it, but at the same time, like, again, when I'm looking at some of these other movies, I don't know, I do feel like Presence is maybe getting like knocked down a little bit. Like, if we're keeping this order how it is at the moment, I think probably the one thing I would do is maybe put Influencers above it.
Sure, I have no arguments with that. I can see the argument for that. I think what I will say about Presence, and this kind of goes into maybe what a couple other movies have done, even Ugly Stepsister kind of falls into this, is that it's a very good, again, character drama in the wraparound of a horror movie. It's not just like, oh, people are dying, which is fun, and I enjoy that. Hence Final Destination Bloodlines being there. But like, you actually find yourself kind of caring about the teen character that you're watching, and you're kind of rooting for her when she's in danger, and you want something to help, and it works in surprising ways where the ghostly element isn't necessarily the actual horror part, but that's kind of what makes it surprising and fun. So yeah. So I just wanted to give that. But yeah, Influencers, obviously, we just talked about both those movies in the last couple of weeks at the time of recording this, and a very fun new main character in those movies. Really had a good time with that, and the second one in particular gets kind of wacky towards the end. Hoping for a third one. So I mean, yeah. What else can you say?
And again, and again, just really like great looking movies, great sounding movies. Like, on a technical level, that's just one that's really well done. So yeah, I'm happy that we were able to squeeze it in, and then I was able to make the list.
Yeah. Are you happy with where Final Destination is there?
Yeah. For me, I mean, I wouldn't fight you if you wanted to move it, but for me, I think it's a very fun movie, but there's definitely flaws in it, and it's not like a complete package where it's like, oh, like, again, I think there's like some story stuff and character stuff that knocks it down a bit. But it is just one of those movies where it's like, well, it deserves to be on there and be talked about because there's a fun factor and really, cool deaths and stuff that put it on there. But I don't know if I'd have it like super high. If you're thinking it goes above Presence, like, maybe there could be a case for that, but I probably wouldn't put it much higher.
I mean, I think I'm happy with it at number 9. It was such a fun return for the franchise. It did all the things that it should do, and it has some of the problems that other Final Destination movies have, which is the third act kind of sucks because they have to wrap up the story, so we can't just keep killing the people that we have been all movie. But otherwise, it was kind of like a a happy success. So worth its flowers, I'd say here. Yeah, I mean, is there anything in these 5 through 9 that you think needs to be adjusted now that you're looking at it?
I think I'm cool with it.
All right, well, I think that maybe locks in our top 10 horror movies of 2025. I shall now repeat them in order for everyone to hear. Number 10, 28 Years Later. Number 9, Final Destination Bloodlines. Number 8, Presence. Number 7, Influencers. Number 6, Silent Night, Deadly Night. 5, Bring Her Back. Number 4, Sinners. Number 3, The Long Walk. Number 2, Weapons. And number 1, our horror movie of 2025, is The Ugly Stepsister.
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Congrats.
Yes, congratulations to Norway for hitting out of the park. Yes.
I mean, good list. You know, it's a good year for horror movies.
It was. I mean, I think we have there's a good list there where, you know, I feel quite really positive about pretty much the entire list. The only exception being the one that you liked that I didn't, but that was a compromise. But there's a couple of movies that I could slot into that 10 spot and be quite pleased. So sure. I think that says that it's a very, very good list. And I mean, 2026 is looking pretty hefty from a release schedule standpoint. I mean, I'm having to actively say, no, we're not going to do that one in theaters because we want time to do other things, but we're still doing like every other horror movie in theaters. Like I was looking at it in May, technically there's like 4 we could be doing, and we're going to do 2 of them, and then have the other weeks to do other things. But that's just because we need time to do other things occasionally. But yeah, I mean, like there's plenty to come. We've not had any home runs yet for 2026, right? It's been kind of like some lukewarm, decent movies and then some stinkers, but we'll get there in the end.
There's a couple that I really liked, but we haven't done it on the show yet, so we'll...
Oh, sure.
Those. But yeah, in terms of the ones we've done on the show so far, yeah, like some like decent ones. I mean, I guess again similar to this year, but I really like the Bone Temple. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I can't think of like too many that like super hit it out the park or whatever.
Yeah. But you know, we'll get to all the 2026 movies. Some of them when they're in theaters, some of them a bit later, as we always do. Well, I'm sure we'll catch up on the ones that have come out in the first few months of the year over the next couple. I'm sure like Primate and Strangers Chapter 2 are going to be, or 3, sorry, not Chapter 2. We've done Chapter 2 already. Chapter 3 will be early on in that list since they were out early on in the year. But
yeah, I know like some of those are already streaming now, so
yeah,
whenever we have the time.
Yeah, we'll be getting bang into all that stuff. So excellent. And yeah, and just to sort of look back at 2024, I mean, I'm just like there was good stuff. Oh, hold on a second, actually. What's happened here? Have I filtered the wrong thing? I may have filtered the wrong thing. Have I? What's happened? What have I done? Clear. 2024. Click. Thank you. All right. Yeah, looking at 2024, there was, again, a high quality number of stuff. We had I Saw a TV Glow, we had Terrifier 3, we had Long Legs, Nosferatu, Heretic, Oddity, bunch of different stuff. Exuma was obviously number 1, as we brought up earlier. So a lot of good stuff in 2024. So I feel like they're pretty comparable, honestly, the 2 years. I don't think one's easily better than the other.
Pretty comparable, I would say.
Yeah, so all good. But that will bring an end to our top 10 horror movies of 2025. Hopefully you enjoyed our discussions and debates. By all means, give us your top 10 horror movies of 2025 in the comments. It's nice to see them. But otherwise, you can support us over at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. And as I said earlier, we're going to do our worst 5 horror movies of 2025 just for patrons and YouTube members. So Supporting us gets you cool little extra things like that. That'll be on even more streams, and we do one of them most weeks. We have bonus episodes every month or so, plus there's bonuses for all the other shows that we do on Mail Fuzz Movies. So thanks to everyone who already does support us, and that'll bring an end to the show. So thank you for joining us once again. Next week, the plan is to do Hokum. Assuming that we both have that should be what we're doing on streams next week. So look forward to that. But that is us. So Tim's frozen, but I'll just outro the show. We're done now. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you next time. Keep watching scary movies. Goodbye. Oh, Tim's back.